Hey, this is Mike from the Graphic Novel Show. Are you interested in starting and running your own podcast? Well, you know, this is the second one that we've done. We used to do a different one, and we decided to start this one. And last time we used Anchor, and you know what? We decided to go back with Anchor again because they are the easiest way to make a podcast. They give you everything you need in one place for free. You can do it right from your phone or on your computer. Anchor gives you creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. You can do that right from your phone. That's quite amazing. They'll also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Now, what you need to do is go download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hi, I'm Parker.
And I'm Mike. And this is the Graphic Novel Podcast.
Welcome to our new podcast on the art of the graphic novel. Mike is the author of 10 books and produced Comics TV, which was a weekly TV show on comics for 7 years back in the 90s.
Back in the olden days. Together, we produced Northwest Brew Talk about the beer industry in the Northwest for 2 years. Now we're back, and this show is all about graphic novels.
Hi, I'm Parker.
And I'm Mike. Welcome to this week's show.
How you doing this week?
I'm doing good. Good.
We're not sick. Were we sick last week? I can't remember.
No, we weren't, because we did a show and we went to a show and we recorded another show.
Oh my God, it was so busy.
Yes, we did 2 shows last week.
Yeah.
Yes, and the short run in Seattle was an amazing show.
Just busy.
It was an
so busy.
amazing
You read
show.
something afterwards. What did it say about there was how many people? Do you remember?
4,200 people.
4,200 people in that tiny little. I mean, it's obviously not all at once, but
Yeah, 4,200
total
people.
over the day.
And I forgot.
But
who
holy
was talking
cow.
about, but some people were
In
nervous.
Fisher Pavilion.
Some people were nervous that the fire department was going to be called.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
It was cool.
Understandably, getting through that place was nuts.
Yeah. We tried to make sure we tweeted everybody too. And one thing I have to say,
And they retweeted like
a lot
everything.
of
They
them
were
was pretty It was
good.
pretty good. Oh, short run.
Short
definitely
run,
did.
yeah.
Short run. And almost everybody that we tweeted too.
I was like, oh my God, I'm having a panic attack. Queer love. Hashtag queer love. Hashtag, I don't remember what else. And they're like, retweet.
yeah, it was definitely a very queer show. It was very cool.
Yeah. Well, then I was talking to my friend Stephanie, and she said she lived in San Francisco, and she was saying she used to go. Her ex-husband was actually a comic book artist, and so she used to go to the shows down in San Francisco, and she said that it was just very queer, like utopia.
Yeah, I don't think comic shows that I went to.
But this was not like not like a Comic-Con.
Yeah,
I
don't think those were queer. I mean, not
it's definitely
like
a different
this.
crowd. Yeah, it's definitely a different crowd than Comic-Cons are. Yeah, those are like nerd shows, and these are like queer shows.
Queer nerd shows.
It just
they were
melts my little queer heart.
And one thing I wanted to say,
Change the subject real quickly
about
queer hearts. I'm like, melts my little queer heart. You're like, one thing I want to say.
One thing I will say about the queer hearts.
That was really good impression of me making an impression of you.
So anyhow, Peter Bagg. I got to meet Peter Bagg.
You were so excited.
I was. I didn't realize. I didn't even realize it was his stuff. I'm walking past the table.
What?
Well, I assumed it wasn't him. I didn't realize that he lived out here. And so I'm
Wait a minute.
Listen,
you didn't realize he lived out here? I
back.
thought you told me before
No.
when you read, because you read his stuff in the 90s, right?
Yes, when we were doing Comics TV, I used to read Hate, and I love that Peter Bagg Hate. Buddy is the main character, and actually last year, the year before, when did we go? Probably 2 years ago. Went to Fantagraphics.
Fantagraphics too. No, yeah, maybe.
No.
It would have been last year. I'm trying to think of how old Isabella was.
It was last year.
I think I was wearing.
It was last year because I was working.
So it had to be last year.
I was working at that other company.
Yeah,
down in that area, and I used to go past it. So I knew that So it was recent.
Last
It was
year.
last year though.
Okay.
But I bought one of them. I bought Buddy Buys a House or whatever or something. Buddy Does Seattle or something like that.
I think it was 2 years ago.
I don't think so. I think it was earlier last year. So anyhow, point is, so going past the table, I see a bunch of hate comics in a bag for like $80. I'm like, oh wow. I go, those are worth a little bit more money than when I used to read them back in the 90s. And there's an older woman and an older guy sitting there, and I'm like, and I see some other stuff that I didn't recognize, and then I saw it was.
Wait, did you didn't say this out loud?
Of course I did.
Oh my God, of course I did. I would never say something like that out loud.
You wouldn't say anything, okay?
Yes, exactly. We walked into people I had crushes on.
Tatiana Gill. You didn't even want me to bring the books to have her sign.
She was so excited to sign them too.
She was.
I mean, she absolutely seems like a fabulous person, but I don't know. That crush feeling. Just
but to her it was awesome that, and she tweeted that people brought books to have her sign, and she thought that was great.
Yeah.
Let me finish this.
Back to your Peter Bag story.
Let me finish this one. Then one other story.
Do you like being interrupted?
I love it. But he. So then I see a portfolio with art for sale, and I'm like, wait a second. I go, are you Peter?
Wait a minute. He was selling his parts of his portfolio?
People always do. Artists do that. They sell art.
I don't remember seeing anybody else's portfolios there. Do you?
No, he's
Peter Bag.
He's Peter Bag.
Sorry.
But so yeah, so I'm like, wait, are you Peter? And he's like, yeah. So I should.
He's like, wait, you don't recognize me?
He's a comic book person. So I said,
what does that mean?
I said, oh wow, it's great to meet you. I said, thanks a lot. And Ezra Clayton Daniels.
You said thanks a lot to him?
I don't know if I said that. But Ezra Clayton Daniels too.
You're very welcome.
Made sure to go up to him and tell him that we love Bottom Feeders. And he probably thought, yeah, you white people should read that book.
I'm sure he did think that, because white people should read all of their fucking work and pay them fucking money because they deserve it.
We did. And bought it brand new. I bought the book brand new.
You don't need to brag about it. It's okay.
No, I mean,
to all of our white listeners, please go out and buy.
I didn't buy a used copy. I bought it brand new. That's my point. So the money as close as gets to him as it can.
Mike.
So anyhow, do you remember the story?
Would you like me to pat you on the back? Yay! Another white person spent money.
I didn't like that. The other story. See,
do you like existing while white?
Tatiana Gill. She was happy that was happy that people brought books to sign.
Yeah.
One time I brought a book to a signing to a guy who's a fucking professor. I mean, he's probably a PhD, but he's an architectural professor in Buffalo. And he was doing a talk, and I brought a copy of his book, and he refused to sign it. Because
I can't imagine.
Because I wasn't buying it in front of him. He refused to sign it.
But you didn't pay full price for it either. He
called
you on that.
It doesn't fucking matter. He didn't say anything about it.
Oh, he did? I thought he said something to you like, how do I know you paid full price or bought this original or something?
He might have, but it doesn't matter. It's his fucking book, regardless of how I got it.
It's not like you brought him a copy that you printed on your own computer and said, will you sign this for me?
Will you sign this cover page that I'm going to stick inside of another?
Yeah.
He was such a dick.
Yeah.
I hated him after that and got rid of the book. But, okay, so we got some good books this week.
We haven't even talked about what we're reading yet, and we are
haven't.
like almost 10 minutes into our podcast.
So we're gonna do two. We're gonna do a back to the white privilege thing.
I don't like that.
We're gonna.
Okay, boomer.
I think you need another glass of vodka. So we're gonna do a quick version of this because I thought when I purchased it.
Wait. Today in our neighborhood app, somebody posted that somebody was complaining about people. There was detours in our city, and so people are complaining about all this new traffic coming through their area, and people are speeding through. And somebody commented, "It's all these young people who are raised on electronics, and they think everything has to go at the speed of their computers and blah blah blah." So I posted an "Okay, boomer."
And what happened?
Nothing. I deleted it because I felt bad. I felt bad right away, but I know it's a terrible story, but I haven't had the opportunity to use it.
It was funny. It was funny.
I wish I had the courage to leave it up. But
I'm sure the boomer thought it was funny too.
I really hope that he saw it.
So anyhow, I thought when I was online,
I'm gonna have to go back and check and see if they like call me out for my dirty delete.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, he wouldn't call it that because he's a boomer. But.
So Your Black Friend by Ben Passmore.
Okay.
When I purchased it, I thought that it was like a graphic novel. I found out when I saw his stuff at Short Run that he does have a full version of it. But this is basically.
I think that'd be worth buying, honestly.
Well,
based on reading this.
Well, yeah.
But yes, we're reviewing
awesome.
a zine of Your Black Friend.
And
which is why we're not taking the whole episode to
right.
I think we should buy the whole book and have another episode about it.
Probably. It's worth talking about more than once.
For sure.
This is a great thing. It's a lot of text. There's art throughout the whole thing, but
full color too.
Yes. Ton of text basically saying how not to dress, how not to talk, how not to say stupid things to black people, as white people.
But I mean,
it says, like, your black friend wishes he knew how to bring this up, but he doesn't know how.
Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it's like just fucking show up when you hear racism. Stand up and say that's racist. Why are you like? He in the end goes to stand up for himself and instead gets in trouble for breaking a different rule. And it's like, you're being racist. Like, how do you not see that you're being racist? Mm-hmm. And so if you're a white person and you hear racism happening, it doesn't matter how fucking uncomfortable it makes you to stand up and say that's racist. And here's why, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, whatever. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable that makes you. You need to do it anyways, because as uncomfortable as it makes you, it's like 1,000 times worse as the person of color who's sitting there and listening to the racism, because there is somebody around you who's a person of color and listening and going, oh my God, they're talking about me, even though they're not specifically talking about me. They're talking about my people.
Well, like, one thing is your black friend wishes you would play more than Beyonce. There are more black performers than Beyonce.
Definitely.
Your white friends compliment your black friend's lips, skin, and hair. He gets shit from his own black friends about his messy hair. He knows your white friends would love that anecdote. It would seem like a secret information to them. Your white friends recommend a lot of black authors, like they're trying to out-black him. It's just, I think white people
trying hard to
say, hey, you know what? I read black authors too.
I have black friends.
Yeah,
I'm not racist.
I
if
think
you're white, you're racist.
Yeah, I know.
Because you benefit from white supremacy.
Yep.
And you have to work on it. You have to recognize it. I am racist. I don't call out every racist thing that I hear. Mm-hmm. I don't. I wish that I did, and I have worked hard to get to where I am, but I still have lots of work to do, and I absolutely still benefit from white supremacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And recognizing that is
well, and he even talks about how black people, he feels like he doesn't fit in with black people because they're trying to look African, and he's like, I'm not African.
Yeah.
And so it's like he's just in a messed up place. Like, he eats frozen pickles too. That's pretty funny.
He does it. I think that's just like once.
No,
I saw something today on. Have you ever heard of that, frozen pickles? I saw something today on social media about freezing pickle juice with leftover slice. You know how there's always like one or two little slices.
And then you just slice
freeze it as a popsicle and eat it. I'm like. Ugh. And then somebody commented and like, oh yeah, my kid loves pickle juice but doesn't like the pickle popsicles. And I'm like, what the fuck? People do this?
No, I can't. I love pickles. I can't drink pickle
When
juice.
I was a kid, I used to eat pickles whole. I would wrap it in a napkin and eat pickles whole. Mm-hmm. And I would drink pickle juice. And now just the thought of it makes me feel so sick. No. And my taste buds have changed so much and I eat so much more, but pickle juice I will never, ever drink again.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
Isn't that a cure to something? Hiccups or something?
I have no idea.
I'm sure it's an old tale.
Yeah.
An old person's tale.
An old person's tale.
You know what I mean.
All right, so what are we doing this week?
So this week we did read Losing the Girl, Life on Earth, Book 1
By who?
by Marinaomi, who I didn't realize it at the time when you had this book and said, here's the pile of books that I've already read and you can choose one of these,
and
Parker.
I bought it last year. I don't even know why. I must have heard something about it.
So I as soon as I saw the name, I went, wait a second, she has a podcast that I listen to called Ask By Girls, and they actually haven't had a new episode since like April of last year. So but it took me a while to catch up on everything. So obviously they aren't having any new episodes, but I was like, oh, Marinaomi. She said that she was a cartoonist and an author and had books, and I didn't catch on to that. But I remember, like, I tend to listen to podcasts in the shower, and I was listening to the one time, and I'm like, oh, I should really look up some of her work, because she said, I don't think she ever said she had a graphic novel, because is this her first?
That's her first graphic novel.
This is her first graphic novel. She's done other stuff,
memoirs stuff.
But this is her first graphic novel, and so maybe she didn't talk about it because this didn't come out until, I was saying, right after this one came out in March or May of 2018, and the last podcast, I think, was actually came out in April of 2018. So maybe she just hadn't finished it yet, so she didn't talk about it yet. I kind of.
So are you gonna do the book?
Oh yeah, the synopsis. Yeah, let's talk. I could talk. Let's do the synopsis. I try and do the synopsis.
Okay.
But also, I wasn't sure which person she was, but then I saw her author photo, and there's a cartoon drawing of her for the. I'll show you, since
for the show.
Important. I wasn't sure who she was, but she's on the left there.
She's obviously not the dark-skinned person.
I didn't know she's Asian.
Asian American.
But April 23rd. Oh, of this year, April 23rd of this year. Oops, sorry. April 23rd of this year was the last episode.
That's right. That's the one that she did the music that was supposed to be music for the podcast, and people thought that it was funny, and it wasn't supposed to be funny.
She kept doing. She did the just
like
the just this cute little ukulele ditty, and I shouldn't call it ditty because it whatever. And so she asked friends, what do you think about this? And like, oh, it's so funny. And she's like, it's not supposed to be funny. And so she used it for the first episode and talked to her co-host about it. And her co-host was like, oh, I don't remember if she called it cute or whatever. But then she's like, yeah, everybody says that. And I don't want it. But then she continued to use it. They continued to use it through the whole, 2 years. So they did upload an episode in April of this year.
Okay.
So anyway, okay.
Yes.
So synopsis. Claudia Jones is missing. Her classmates are thinking the worst, or at least the weirdest. It couldn't be an alien abduction, right? None of Claudia's classmates at Blithedale High. I'm so sorry. Know why she vanished. None of Claudia's classmates at Blithedale High know why she vanished, and they're dealing with enough already. Emily's trying to handle a life-changing surprise. Paul is hoping to step out of Emily's shadow. Nigel just wants to meet a girl who will laugh at his jokes. And Brett hardly lets himself get close to anybody. In Losing the Girl, the first book in the Life on Earth trilogy, Eisner-nominated cartoonist Marinaomi looks at life through the eyes of 4 suburban teenagers. Early romance, fraying friendships, and the traces of a mysterious, maybe otherworldly disappearance. Ages 14 and up.
So, Marinaomi is the award-winning author and illustrator of 4 comics memoirs. Losing the Girl is her first graphic novel and her first foray into fiction that possibly involves alien life forms. She's also the creator of the Cartoonists of Color and Queer Cartoonist databases. And there's one other one also. It's Cartoonists with Disabilities or something like that. She lives in California with her husband and many cats and dogs. Visit her website at marinaomi.com. So, that is who we're talking about and what we're talking about. And the book itself has a lot of different topics. It starts out with Nigel's story. and nobody's phones are working, and that's happening throughout the entire
Oh, yeah,
story.
that's weird.
And you don't know why. And then you find out that Claudia Jones has disappeared.
You
and-
never find out why the phones aren't working, right?
No.
Okay.
Claudia Jones disappears. Nobody's sure why
The
that.
math genius.
She's a math genius, yes. She's a nerdy, weird kid that I think nobody's really friends with, and she disappears. Let's see. And you've got Nigel, who's into Emily.
What makes you think nobody's friends with her just because?
There's something that was said in the book.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
Nigel's into Emily, but Emily's into Brett. Paula is
Are you reading this, or is this?
Paula is dating Darren, but Paula also likes Brett too, doesn't she?
Paula likes Brett. Yes.
Paula was dating Darren.
Sorry, there were so many
Who's
names.
the big bully asshole?
Yeah.
But-
Paula likes Brett.
But she likes Brett.
Yeah.
There's pregnancy.
But Brett likes somebody else too.
Pregnancy, abortion, teen love, like they said, teen angst,
Of
and
course.
possibly aliens.
Possibly aliens.
There's
There's possibly.
all
I
kinds of
really
stuff
hope
going
there's
on.
no aliens in the books at all, because they like hint at it so much, and then it's like, nope.
So in last episode, we I don't know why, there was something, because I had pulled up Goodreads and there was some good stuff in there. So I think we're going to do that a little bit.
I like that. It was good.
Well, it gives us it gets
It
some
kind of
other
pissed me
people's-
off sometimes too.
Yeah, and it gives us stuff to jump off about. But first off,
Okay, let me ask you: have you read? You've read. I know you have your own Goodreads.
I've read some.
And are you happy that there exists a place in which you can read that about your own work?
When
What's your personal opinion on
when my books first
as an author?
come out, I like to see what people think.
Okay.
But after a while, I don't give a fuck anymore because you can't.
Yeah.
Because it can hurt you. It can
Okay,
hurt you.
But that's not what I'm asking.
I don't really give a shit. I don't write reviews for other people's shit.
Because that's why I'm asking, is because I just want to make sure that if we are reading this, you're an author, you should know how you feel about Goodreads. I want to kind of, I don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing that we read them or not. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I know what you're saying.
I like to read them because I feel a lot of times I disagree. I disagree with what some of them say, and I feel like it's good for me to be able to say, "Oh,
Well,
I remember reading that part, and this is why you're fucking wrong."
Yeah. Well, the story there's like all these different stories. I mentioned some of the topics that are gone through, and
Yeah.
each chapter has a completely different art style, and it's about somebody else, one of the different people. And it's pretty neat the way that she does different art styles based on that character.
Yeah, I like the way that she changed the font based on who is speaking to. I
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah, that's different.
Because sometimes when there was a lot of people, or like when they were like kind of sinking into the background, her definition of the people would change, and I really love that. It gave you so much more feeling into what was happening.
Well, she's not the only one that does this, but I like the way she changes. Like, it's not just their facial expression. It's like their whole head. Like when they're getting angry, it's like their head is changing until it's like this ball of anger. And also like sometimes when like the characters, like when she has like a far away view of them, like she doesn't do detail.
Right.
And it's kind of neat. Or sometimes you can tell like the character, like when like they ask a question like, should I kiss her? And you see the look on the girl's face, and then his head changes like in the next panel. It's like just a round head, like a blank. Like it's like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have done that. But you can read it in the pictures. You can read what they're thinking. And when when you couple it with the text, it's cool.
I really liked, and I thought it was different, but I have not read nearly as many graphic novels as you. I liked her directional stuff, like a map. There's the map of the neighborhood,
Mhm.
and it shows Nigel, like he's going this way. He's whooshing on his skateboard, and then the arrow
Mhm.
points up. Like
That's-
he kicked it. Like I don't know.
Well, that's
if it's
kind
a
of
lot. A
that's
lot
kind of
what,
manga stuff.
Oh,
They do
okay.
that. They have a lot of that.
Because she did a lot of that
like
directional,
pull.
like here's the whole living room set up, and Nigel's walking across. Like
Right.
you don't have to paint the whole. You don't have to do 4 different panels of him walking across the living room, because I'm just gonna paint the whole draw the whole living room out and just draw arrows so that we know
Right.
he's going to the fridge.
Right. Right. So I mean, it starts out with him just going to his house and talking to his mom. You find out that his mom and dad are divorced, and then
unhappily
unhappily divorced. The mom doesn't like the dad.
Most divorces are unhappy, I feel like, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a reason why they break up.
I think that if people didn't view divorce as a terrible thing or, taboo and, a failure, then I think that would be there would be a lot more lot more pathways for people to have amicable divorces, where they just say, you know what, this relationship is not working, and
yeah, but that happens
we
because
need to move on.
It happens because somebody cheats on someone, or because they're not happy, so then they go and cheat on someone.
Okay, but if divorce wasn't as taboo, would they just go cheat, or would they say, "Listen, I'm not happy. This isn't working."
Well,
I think we
non-monogamy wasn't taboo, then maybe things would be different too.
Well, I can't disagree with you there, but I mean that's a lot more to change, I feel like.
Yeah. Anyhow, so then there's a bunch of different stories along the way.
Yeah.
And Nigel and Emily get together in a friendly way. But she ends up liking Brett.
Isn't that the weirdest thing? It's like they went on a date and kissed to suddenly they were which is like I guess in high school, like that's how thing, that's how it would have been. But like, I'm going out, and like the next day they were broken up.
Yes, and he was still pining for her.
Yes,
still wanted her, and then he'd be like, I you know what, just gonna be friends, but then they go swimming and she's in a bikini and he's like, man, you really look good in that bikini. She's like, okay, that's it, I'm done, we're not.
Well, she didn't want to go to begin with because she knew that it was just him wanting to see her in a bikini, so her instincts were correct.
Was it a bikini or was it just bathing suit?
A swimming suit, whatever, yes. It doesn't matter.
But the point is, yes, and then again he admitted that, yeah, I really like you, I can't stop. So she's like, well, we can't be friends anymore.
Exactly. Good.
So, what do you mean good?
Good for her. If he can't fucking shut his goddamn emotions down, then not shut his emotions down. If he can't be friends with her, then they shouldn't be friends.
All right. So this weirdo on Goodreads gives it a 1 star. I don't think this book deserves a 1 star.
Absolutely not. Let's hear what this
moron said. I think there was supposed to be a sci-fi twist, but it didn't really show up.
Oh my God.
This was really hard to follow. The art was not great. And while I do think it accurately portrays many teen relationships, there didn't seem to be a whole lot of plot or unification. Again, it's a 3-volume story.
Why do people not get that? Like it says clearly in the next at that last page of the book says more to come. Like it's clearly a to be continued.
It's almost 300 pages.
Oh my God.
It's almost 300 pages, and
this is what I just want to slap people through the internet. I think that there just needs to be this tool that you just shoot your hand through the internet. Just
there was another one where
that's what we need, sound effects, so I can reach your hand through and
where some fucking old guy did a review, and then he admitted, well, I am an old guy.
Okay, boomer.
Maybe that's why I didn't like it. I'm like, well, what the fuck are you reading it for then?
I'm 30. I'm 31, right? 31. I still don't always remember what high school relationships were like. So
yeah.
No,
but there's a lot of them. 4 stars, 5 stars. It is like you just said. It's a typical teen drama.
Yes.
He makes a stupid joke in class. She thinks it's funny. They meet after school.
Wait, I don't think she thought it was funny. She didn't think it was funny, right?
But she's
like, "Are you trying to hit on me?"
And he said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Okay."
Yeah. Then.
But then they go after school. Did they make out?
I think they kissed.
Okay, they kissed. Anyhow, so like you said, and then next thing you know, they're dating, and within a very short time, they're not dating anymore.
Yeah.
And and she doesn't, because he's too clingy. She wants him to back off, and
well, he was just a stepping stone to.
Well, to Brett.
better things.
To Brett, because she really wanted Brett.
Yeah.
And Brett gave her something she didn't want. But I mean, it's interesting.
Let me be clear here. The sperm is simply a fertilization tool, okay?
I don't know.
It's simply the like he didn't give her anything. You know what I mean?
Well, she didn't buy it.
Okay, he gave her some semen.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
You want me to cut here?
I mean, it's approaching the 30-minute mark. This is typically when we would cut. But if you'd like to push it a little closer and see what happens, I'm all good.
I'm going to see if it stops at 29.
Oh, okay.
I think that's where it stopped.
All right. What are you looking for another review?
Well, I mean, somebody gave it a 4 stars.
Fucking boomer.
But they said, you know, they compare it to another artist and says you would never. You know,
it's red now. It's making me nervous. It's red.
God, it's red. It's red.
Heads up. Heads up. It says.
You can record. Oh,
we could put the app.
The app is on the phone.
No, it says if you'd like to record for longer, use any app on your computer.
And then upload the file.
I'm so glad that. How many episodes in are we now?
This is 13.
13. Lucky 13. And we're just now actually reading what the screen says.
Yeah. Anyhow, I mean.
Anyway. I really liked the review by Marinaomi.
Oh, yeah, she reviewed it and she said, I wrote and illustrated this and I gave it 2 thumbs up. And
I wonder, was it right away, like right after it came out, and maybe
it was
people
2
weren't.
years ago. It said 2 years ago.
Yeah, so that may have been right when it came out.
So you know, I understand what you're saying, and I'm wondering if we should do any more of these.
Oh, you're starting to rethink it.
Well,
because so far I've wanted to slap multiple people.
Well, I want to slap them all too.
You're thinking because we. I mean, I have thoroughly enjoyed every book that we've read.
Well, I think if we read a book that we really didn't like, we wouldn't review it.
Probably not.
Because I don't want to. When I did comics TV, I was that person, and so was Steve. If we read a book that we didn't like, we said,
I'm not that person.
No, we said that book. This book was terrible. The art was bad. This and that and that. Now, we read books that had art that it was subpar. It wasn't. Yeah, it was not great art. And there's been books that we've gone through.
Who is we? Can
you
and clarify?
I.
Okay, you and I. Okay.
Have gone through books where the art is different. It's not. It's there are some artists that are
but
much
I can appreciate different. I don't think that different is necessarily bad.
No, but there are some that are much better than others.
I mean, certainly I think that there are artists that are better than others, but I wouldn't say that any that we've read,
just like there are writers that are better than others.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that one is better than the other.
Yeah.
Because one of them might sell. Just let's go to those trashy.
God, I really hope I can remember what you're talking about.
Those trashy.
Trashy.
That stupid 3-book series about bondage.
What?
Not graphic novels. Those ones you read.
Oh, I'm like, what graphic novels are we reading about bondage?
What are those?
How did I forget this? 50 Shades.
50 Shades.
Yeah.
Poor quality.
Crap. Yeah.
Crappy.
Yeah.
Millions of copies sold. Millions of middle-aged women getting off reading those books.
Yeah.
And 3 movies.
Yeah.
They made millions. They made millions doing that stuff. And the quality of the stuff was not that great.
No, it wasn't.
So, I mean, it doesn't matter sometimes. Sometimes something can be mediocre and loved by millions, or it could be fantastic and nobody sees it.
Yeah.
But again, I think if we both read a book and we thought that it was really, really bad, that I don't think we would do it. But just because I don't want to, like I said, I did that back in the 90s when we did comics TV.
Yeah.
Steve and I, not you.
Making it clear.
And
I was a toddler at the time.
Yes, you were. Not around us though. We did not know you at that time.
No.
And I don't want to be that person now. I mean, I wasn't an author back then either.
Yeah, I'm sure that makes a big difference.
I understand what it's
I'm not
like.
an author, but I don't want to be that person.
No, I understand what it's like. I hate bad reviews. It goes right to your soul, and it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
And I've tried to get over them. In fact, when
I feel like I'm a pretty positive person in general.
When my last book,
you're gonna ignore that comment completely because you don't agree with that.
No, you're okay.
Oh fuck.
Pretty positive person.
I feel like I'm a pretty positive person when it comes to things like this. When it comes to people's artwork,
overall, yes. And you know what? I think you are. Period. I think you are. Not even overall. I think you are very positive.
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, I'm serious. When my last nonfiction book came out, I was searching the internet looking for reviews and stuff, and I came across something, and these guys were talking about it on a fucking forum.
I remember that.
And I went in and I went after everything they said because it was not true. You know?
I remember that.
It pissed me off. And then I found out we went to stop at a brewery one time, and we found out that it was 21 and older, and we had our kids with us. So I sent them a message that said, hey, we were going to stop by, but we couldn't because we had our kids. And then they told me, oh, well, don't worry about it. Here, go read this review I read of your fucking book. I'm like, what?
So we read the
review, and it's like, fuck you, Structures Brewing in Bellingham.
Yeah, fuck you. Seriously, fuck you.
Because
they were upset because you didn't get their history 1,000% correct. Because it wasn't out there.
No.
You were supposed to personally talk to each and every brewery in 300 fucking breweries.
No. They changed owners after I had written it. Before the book came out.
That's right.
They had changed owners. So it was my fault that they fucking changed owners.
Yes, but you had information from and it was like it wasn't even open yet, right? Or it just opened when you published the book.
And the information I had, we checked, was still the same shit that they had on their website too.
Right.
So my story was correct.
Yeah. So fuck you, Structures. If you're in Bellingham, don't go to Structures Brewing if they're even still fucking open.
They are. But and then some other brewery up there too before they were even open.
Something with a G.
Yeah, I don't
Gryffindor.
No, Gryffindor.
That's Harry Potter.
Yeah, they also,
Gruff. It was Gruff.
Yes, they said, oh yeah, we agree with you or some stupid shit or.
Yeah, so don't go to Gruff Brewing either.
But anyhow, so I get it. I get having bad reviews and people saying shit. So I don't, unless there's something interesting, I think we'll avoid that. The book has a lot of cool topics.
Yeah, let's get back onto topic because I like this book. I can't wait to read number 2.
The second one came out in March of this year. So
we're going to read it.
We're going to have to get that one.
For sure.
And the next one comes out in January, you said?
January, March, I think it said.
Somewhere between January and March?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of next year, 2020.
Well, next year is in 2 months.
Next year. Oh my God, next year. Holy shit.
Yes, we're only...
I can't believe it's November.
There's only a month left of this decade.
Oh my God. It's going to be the 20s. So
yeah.
I know. It's weird. It's fucking weird.
But...
All right, let's see.
Which is weird because I've written books about the 20s, the 1920s. So...
The 2020 is going to be a big year for us. It says coming March 2020.
Oh, okay, March
is the third.
So
book.
about every March. So yeah,
I really like her artwork. I really do.
I do. It's cartoony.
Yeah,
her stuff is cartoony. Some of the people we've read their artwork is more realistically looking. But
but I also like to. Like when when Emily is talking to Brett and she's like so embarrassed about the way she said something, like the drawing of the face changes, like you were talking about too. Like suddenly she's this hideous person.
Yes.
Damn well.
It's like
that feeling.
Yes, and it's like your internal feeling she's showing on the outside.
I love it.
Yes, no, it's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And the story is cool. Yes, it does jump around. And you're not quite sure what all of it's going on, but
I think once you get to the end, I feel like even maybe by the third chapter, it was the names were starting to fall into place. And,
right.
I mean, in the early on, but I feel like most books are that way when you're not quite settled into who the characters are and everything. It's kind of hard to keep track with most books who the characters are.
Exactly.
and who's related in what way to whom, and
Well, I think
relationship wise, not necessarily.
somebody said that about my book, my fiction stuff, because I had so many characters.
Yeah.
Some of them were just names that were there for like a couple pages and then they were gone.
Yeah.
And people were like, am I supposed to remember all these names? It's.
But I feel like by the time we got to end of your book too, it was like,
some of
the key elements were there.
Exactly,
You didn't need to necessarily focus on who each individual, whatever. I don't know.
Right. No, you're right.
Let's keep talking about you. We're supposed to talk about Marinaomi.
Was talking about Marinaomi.
So you should. I mean, you can listen to our podcast too. Ask By Girls. It was good. It was full of good information.
But there's some. It's very cool. It's nice too. What's one of the things that's different is this is printed on like glossy paper too.
Oh,
it's a heavy book. It's a smaller size. It's like 6x9, black and white until you get to the final chapter, and then it has spot color in it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it has spot color, which has to do with the story, which is pretty cool.
The story.
Yeah, but it's
that's very cool. I like it. The dead rat.
Oh, screw the rat.
No, not screw the rat.
Don't like the rats.
Oh, why? It's just a
don't
baby.
Like rats. I hate rats. I hate rats and snakes.
That makes me. Did you ever hold or play with Michael's rats?
No.
Remember when Michael and Marcos had rats?
I didn't like
they love those rats so much.
I know.
Though.
They're dead now.
They probably are.
But
my condolences, B50. I don't remember your name.
No,
I'm so sorry.
But again, like
I don't remember your rats' names. Betsy? It was something with a B.
Bobsy.
It wasn't Bobsy.
But anyhow, going back to the
stupid name for a
drawing.
rat.
To the drawing, showing like somebody curled up in a ball.
Yep. And that's exactly how you feel too when you're in that place.
Yep.
You feel like a nothing. You're just
isolated in a ball.
A person.
Yep.
In a bowl. And that's it.
Yeah. And it's very cool.
Have you ever felt that way?
No, I've never felt that way.
Oh, you poor thing.
But
I'm rolling my eyes.
It's good. It's a good story. And like you said, by the time you're getting through the book, you're starting to know who the characters are and what the story is. You don't know the whole story because it's 3 issues. It's 3 separate books.
Of course you don't know.
And until you get through the whole thing, you're not going to know if this is about aliens or not or what.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly some kind of sci-fi thing because the front page has planets and stars and...
Well, it's called Life on Earth. But, I mean... And the phones aren't working, so is that some like type of alien interference?
We're gonna find out. Yeah.
We don't know. And then Claudia Jones is missing. Was she anal probed by aliens?
Why do you always go for the anal probing?
I don't know. But that's
I feel
what
like
they
that's
do.
Not something you hear about.
That's what they do. Well, because you don't hear.
That's what we do to animals.
But you know what? When you used to hear about aliens.
Yes, it was all about the anal probes.
Always about that. But you know what? With the internet, you don't hear about the aliens anymore.
I know. I was just thinking, like, you don't hear about the anal probes anymore.
Aliens or the
It was just
Bermuda
the psychos
Triangle
on Mystery Tonight, or what the fuck was that show called? Unsolved Mysteries. Do you remember that show?
I do.
My best friend's mother used to fucking record that show and then watch it.
What's it called?
It was that important. Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
The reenactments and all that shit. They probably have. I bet you can watch it on Hulu or...
Probably.
Yeah.
American television show. Who was the...
I don't remember. And this is Unsolved Mysteries. I don't know. He was an old guy. An old white guy. He's probably dead now.
Oh, Raymond Burr was the original host in 1987.
Raymond Burr.
Then Carl Malden, Robert Stack, Dennis Farina. Dennis Farina was from Law and Order.
None of those names are ringing.
Virginia Madsen.
It was a woman. It's been on that long? I only remember one guy.
Yes, Robert Stack. This guy.
Let me see. No.
Yes, that's the young version of him.
Maybe the young version of him.
But that's him.
Oh my God, what is that?
I don't know. But Robert Stack, yes.
Is there another photo of him? Can you pull it?
Probably.
I'll just do it myself.
Yep.
Robert
Stack.
We're doing way too much advertising.
It's Unsolved Mysteries.
I know.
It's been off the air for 10 years.
Anyway.
But yes, this book has a good plot. It has great art. Like I said, I love that each
Yep,
chapter.
that's him. Sorry.
Yeah, I told you. Each chapter is different. He had the voice too.
Well, it's a different character, and
He had
so
that
it follows
voice,
some of
too.
the same story. That I love it when they follow.
Oh, the chapters
like
are
the same.
tied.
You're on Emily's timeline,
Mhm.
but it's the same things that it's during the same time that shit was happening to Nigel of the story that we just found out.
Right,
But
but
now,
it's from a different.
now it's from Emily's
Right.
perspective, and I really love that.
Right, it's good. Yeah,
That feeds my soul.
yeah. There was some movie I
Like,
just heard
You're really just
on my
watching
way
the
home. There's
sidelines.
some new movie. I don't remember what it's called, but they
It's
said
really
that
important.
The first
you
half,
need to remember.
the first half is like that,
Uh-huh.
and then the second half is from his sister's view.
Oh,
So,
I don't movie that way. I
Yeah.
don't know if I could.
Yeah,
I
the guy said it's an amazing movie.
I would probably love it because I like those.
It's about
movies.
black characters.
Oh, okay.
So he said it's an amazing movie.
Huh. Interesting.
But yes, it's a family drama thing, like internal struggles and things like that. So, yeah. So we're definitely gonna have to get book 2.
Yes.
On
the show.
Maybe for Solstice. Losing the Girl is a sparkling and complex novel with its feet on the ground and its eyes on the stars. Marinaomi shows great empathy for her characters, even as she refuses to sugarcoat the complexity of being a teen. And who wrote that? It's from Hope Larson, author of Compass South and Knife's Edge. So, people that understand, Joe Blows are the people that buy books, Those are the Joe Blows. Those are the people that buy books and watch movies and all that crap. And they have opinions. And they like certain things,
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that their opinions should weigh more than anybody else's. Though.
Why do our opinions matter more than anybody else's?
They probably don't.
They
matter
don't.
They
Exactly.
don't. And that's why we try to review stuff that we like.
Yeah.
Stuff that's good. Just to provide some information. Provide some different books that people might.
Do you have anything in the story? I feel like we haven't shared any personal stories that can relate to this. Do you have any alien abduction stories?
Well, back to the anal probe.
Oh, stop. It's not
no,
quite
I have nothing about that. Teen angst, of course. I dated when I was in my teens.
You did?
And there's that stuff. I was trying to think on the way home. There was when I was dating my first girlfriend. There was I was 1 or 2 years older than her, and this guy in her grade was kept teasing her, and he was a bigger guy, and he kept teasing her, and I told her finally.
And you were a little guy.
Oh yeah, and one day I finally told her. I says, "You know what? I can't take this anymore," because she would tell me all the time, like teasing her, like not nicely, and it was.
Is teasing ever nice?
It was probably because he liked her.
Because
she was.
She was God, cute. I really wish people wouldn't ever say that.
No, that's probably why he did it. This was in 1981.
Oh, it was different then.
It was different in the old
days.
Boomer. It was different in the old days.
Seriously. Toxic masculinity.
So I told her, I said, tell him to meet me outside after school.
You didn't?
Yeah. But she probably never told him because he didn't show up. And
you were ready.
I was ready to get my ass beat.
Yeah.
But I said.
But what would that have done for her?
I don't know. Maybe if I'd done it, maybe he would have stopped.
Did he ever stop after you threatened?
I don't remember. I just remember
she stopped telling you about it.
Probably. There's another story about Gene.
Oh.
It had nothing to do with that, but it has to do with fighting.
Okay, I don't care. So
he was wearing clogs and tripped.
Are you kidding me? Oh, that's so Jane. I like the note folding. When we were in high school, we had these elaborate folds that you had to fold and then pull the little tab out. And
you mean she shows it in the book? That's what
she shows in the book. She just shows it being folded and passing.
Yeah.
Nigel tosses it over to Emily. But when I was in school, way back in the 90s and the 2000s, you had to fold. And then remember we looked it up on the internet because. Why did we do that? Oh, I wrote Gerlando a note to take.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote Gerlando a note during testing week to try and say, hey, you are awesome. These tests aren't gonna, You know,
Mhm.
I'm one of those parents. These tests can't show you how kind you are and
Mhm.
you know how much you can. Anyway, I'm one of those. And so I asked you to look up online how to fold the notes.
Mhm.
Do you remember that?
Mhm.
Do you remember your kids? You had kids in the
Mhm.
90s, 2000s. Do you remember them folding notes that way?
Mm-mm.
Every note that I ever had that my friends passed to me in school, or I was
And they were all
folded that
tucked
way.
in.
Yep.
So you had to like
The fold.
untuck it.
Yep. You always had a right pull, even though you knew
Yeah.
goddamn well that they
Yeah, you
knew
have to
to pull the little tab.
'Cause you have to,
always
right?
pull on the little tab.
Yeah.
So anyway, this was that they didn't do that. Nigel didn't fold his notes that way.
No, but
Check, yes.
I can't think of any.
And meet me by the bleachers. I
Yeah.
think Marinaomi's a little older than me too, so maybe they didn't do that then.
What?
Do the folding.
Oh, maybe. But no, I mean it's.
I do like that she shows
yeah.
shows him that she knows how to fucking skateboard. Like
That Emily knows how.
Emily,
It's like, where'd you learn how to do that?
duh. Girls know how to skateboard too, dipweed.
She's like, I just haven't done it in a while.
And then he's upset because his mom's talking shit about his dad. And
right.
I remember going through that same shit too when your parents are divorced. And it's like they're mad at each other. And who do you talk to that knows and can just understand a little bit? And it just comes out. The anger just comes out. And
yeah,
you know, it's hard as a kid to listen to your parents talk about each other and can't sometimes I think I remember at times me and my brother being, can you just don't? But I don't know, maybe we didn't.
Yeah, I never got that. I only got one side of the story, so I never really.
Well, you knew that your sperm donor was a shitbag, so
I was told he was.
So you're starting to come around to the other side, huh?
No.
Okay.
No, I believe he was. I believe he was, but just because of I don't remember much. But
I don't remember a lot of my childhood either.
But I don't think that. Again, I only heard one side. The few times that he picked me up, I don't think he ever talked shit about my mother.
No, you don't remember him ever saying. What about your grandparents? You did spend a little bit of time. No, you don't remember anything.
No, I don't think they did either.
Yeah, interesting.
Honestly, I don't think. Shit. They had a table.
Because
if
he was as shitty and horrible as your mother says he was, like I would think that he would do nothing but talk about, I don't know, call her a whore or something. I don't know.
No, because maybe he knew that he was a dickwad. That he cheated on her.
People like that generally don't recognize their behaviors. Maybe he did.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
But yeah, I don't remember any of that.
I only say this because it's recent. I don't remember if we've discussed this on the podcast before, but the way that your mother turned against us makes me wonder what, and what she told your family about us makes me wonder how realistic her stories ever are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tried to pull some stuff out of my sister because
But your sister would also know the things that you were told as a child,
right?
So she would also have your mother's side, and if your mother's side is,
she's younger than me too,
exactly.
But she doesn't really remember anything else,
right?
So it was not helpful,
right?
I believe some of the stories were true, about him.
Yeah.
Some of the things he did, breaking furniture and throwing furniture around and pushing my mother down the stairs, and I think some of that stuff is true.
Yeah.
She didn't break anything, so
let me be clear. I am always somebody who believes women.
Right.
I am and will always be.
And she probably she's probably never lied about that stuff.
Yeah.
But years later, you start to wonder whether she embellished any of it or any.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember even any other family members saying shit about him.
The only thing that made me question it was and I mean, once people die, everybody wants to say that they were the best of whatever they were. But there were so many positive stories coming out about him that it made me really question, like, what a wonderful father he was on his obituary.
They're full of shit.
I know that's what I'm saying.
They're full of shit because my cousin's friend lived right next to him or a couple doors down.
Yeah.
And they could hear him like swearing at his family and stuff and everything. So he never changed. Maybe he didn't cheat anymore. Maybe he didn't beat his wife.
Yeah.
Because maybe she was bigger. Maybe she put up with it. Or she didn't put up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mother's a tiny person.
Yeah.
And he was 6 foot something and a big guy.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, when you're that kind of person. You're that
Physically,
kind of
though.
person.
No, but I know. But yes.
I mean,
But-
your
but-
friend.
But
Go ahead.
from what I understand is he was a big man unless another man said something to him. He would
Sounds familiar.
he would not he would back down from another man.
Yeah, but his second wife wasn't a man, right?
No, but maybe she was tougher and maybe she didn't put up with the same kind of shit.
Then why would he stick? I don't know why we're going into this. It's really not that important.
No, anyhow,
I love you.
the world is over.
The world isn't
Anyhow.
over. The world isn't over, but Claudia Jones, where is she?
I don't know. We'll find out in the next book.
I can't wait.
Losing the Girl by Marinaomi.
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 I love it.
All right.
Listen to her podcast at Ask by Girls. I don't know if they're not updating anything more recently, but I enjoyed what they had on there, so
Yeah.
check it out.
All right. Till next time, I'm Mike.
Wait,
What?
we got to talk about all our things.
What thing?
Patreon.
It's all at the end. It's already there.
Oh, are you sure?
All right. Until next time, I'm Mike.
Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook.
Yep.
All that stuff's already there.
Yes, we already did that.
We are so on top of things.
Yeah, yeah.
And by we, I mean you, of course.
Why, you already did too.
I mean, I did it, but I don't remember any of it.
I know. Until next time, I'm Mike.
And I'm Parker.
And this
is the Graphic Novel Podcast. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy listening to our podcast, make sure that you like, share, give us a great rating. We love to hear back. You can find us on Twitter at Graphic Novel Pod, or you can check out our Instagram at Graphic Novel Podcast.
Or you can visit our website. We got a brand new website. It is graphicnovelpodcast.com. Or you can send us a comment or question or any kind of thing like that.
Yeah, we love hearing from our listeners.
Request for a book to be reviewed or anything like that to graphicnovelpodcast@gmail.com. And biggest thing, if you're listening to the podcast and you like it, visit your favorite podcast distribution host like iTunes or whatever, and give us a review. Give us Stitcher, Breaker, all them, and give us a review and stars, because that's.
Hey, if you give us 5 stars in a review, we may read it on there.
Yes, we will definitely, and that will help us expand the number of people listening to our show.
That's the best way that we can share our show is by our listeners.
That's right. So thanks for listening again this week.